Hi friends, thank you so much for joining me here at the Fast Draft Method. If this is your first time here, I just want to say a hearty welcome. And if you are a returning guest, well, welcome back. My name is MCH. I am a professional screenwriter and filmmaker, and every week I put up these little videos, screenwriting tips and tricks, things about movies, random thoughts in my head, mostly things about movies, mostly screenwriting tips. If you are getting value from these screenwriting tips, I would be so grateful if you would like and subscribe, and please tell all your friends. Tell your friends there's this guy who mostly talks about screenwriting. And if you're curious about the Fast Draft Method itself and you want to learn more, simply click the link below and that'll take you to a video that will explain the Fast Draft Method in detail and potentially give you access to all of my screenwriting secrets, and there are many. Here's a pro tip. Screenplay notes are your friend. Yeah, I'm gonna call bullshit on that. Yeah, screenplay notes, they're the worst, right? I mean, think about it. You have spent months, possibly years, writing this profoundly personal screenplay. You've put in the time, you've put in the work, you've invested in the courses, the books, the YouTube videos. You understand structure, pace, and proper formatting. You opened up your veins and spilled your deepest, darkest secrets onto the page. Your Aunt Millie and Uncle Steve said that this, your screenplay, is the most profound piece of literature since the Bible. And then along comes this pompous, suspender-wearing, coffee-sipping dickhead who looks at you and just says, yeah, if you could just write better, that'd be great. At least that's what you hear. But what is this pompous dick really saying? Look, I get it. It's hard to take a note, especially if you think, this person really just doesn't get what I'm doing here, or this person doesn't understand. I hate to break it to you, but they do understand. You just didn't explain it well. Okay, but what about those seemingly ridiculous notes? The ones that make your blood boil? The notes that are just, you're absolutely convinced they're meant for a completely different screenplay. Stupid notes like hair color, location change, notes that have nothing to do with the plot or the dialogue. Trite, unconvincing notes. What about those, MCH? Shh. Calm down, relax, just take a deep breath. A note is not a criticism of your talent, your worth, your artistry, or your ability. It is just a bump. That's it. And if your note giver is worth their salt, that bump is usually followed by a suggestion. Now, do you have to take this suggestion? No, absolutely not. But you do have to address the bump. Look, if I bump up against a moment or a character's motivation, it's often because that beat, moment, or reason is contrary to what you've already established. And as a result, it just doesn't work. Now, you may have intended that beat, moment, or reason to mean X, but if I read it as Y, well, that's on you. And if you were to say, MCH, you just don't get what I'm trying to do here, well, I'd reply, you're right. But whose fault is that? Look, I'm not thick. I've been doing this long enough to get what you're trying to do, but if you had done it, and I got it, then you wouldn't be getting the note. Let's break this down. You have spent all this time and energy and effort writing this very personal story. You have done an enormous amount of heavy lifting, and as a result, you finished a full-length feature film screenplay. Congratulations, and I mean this sincerely. I mean, this is no small feat. Look, you worked hard, and now you're 100% invested in the success of that screenplay. But to me, this screenplay, your life's work, it's just black dots on a white page. I'm completely impartial. I am reading your script with fresh eyes and for the first time. My only emotions are the reactions to whatever is written in these 100 or so pages. The majority of the notes that I give come from me asking these three basic questions. Number one, have you created a solid mythology? Meaning, have you created something that only exists within the pages of this screenplay? Or simply put, is it clear what this story is about? Number two, do you adhere to this mythology? Or simply put, do you follow the rules that you've established? Or even simpler still, does it all make sense within itself? And number three, is there a more compelling or concise way to explain, describe, or show what you intended? Now, if the answer is yes, then here is my note and here is my suggestion. But if the answer is no, then I leave it alone. No notes. There is nothing personal here. I am not trying to trip you up or give you notes for note's sake. I am not trying to take over your script and tell you how I would do it. No, this isn't about me. I'm simply bumping up against a moment, a scene, a beat, or a line of dialogue. So here's a great tip that has served me well over the years. Instead of saying, MCH, you clearly didn't get it. Try asking, all right, what did I intend that MCH didn't understand? And is there a way that I can explain it so he can understand? So if you can develop this better way of getting your intention across, then great. You've kept the scene, the moment, the beat, it's all intact, all while making it more evident on the page. And if you can't, well, then you have one of two options. You can either, scrap the scene, beat, or moment entirely, or you can leave it in and see if anybody else bumps. But here's the rub. See, if you get 2 bumps on the same scene, you have to change it. Intention in your writing is essential. Your intentions, these are the most intimate parts of your voice. So when someone doesn't understand what you're trying to say, what we often hear is, you suck, or you're a garbage writer. But you don't suck, and you're not a garbage writer. You have done so much work here. Just try not to take anything personally, and try, remember why you wanted to get notes in the first place. So the next time you get a note, and as strange as this may sound, just say yes, and see where that note takes you. Now, it might not take you anywhere. In fact, it might just take you right back where you started, and that's okay. If so, what? You've lost maybe an hour of your time. But if that note does take you somewhere, well, forget about that hour that you've lost. Think about everything that you've gained. Well, that's it for this week, friends. Thank you so much. Be sure to come back next week for a brand new video on screenwriting. If you are getting value from these posts, I would love it if you would like and subscribe. If you want me to keep going, just like and subscribe. Although I'm not quite sure why you liking or subscribing would keep me going other than a total ego boost, which, let's be honest, I'm a writer. And if you would like to do a deeper dive into the fast draft method, which is how I personally write screenplays, just click the link below and that will take you to a free video that will tell you all about the fast draft method, and it will potentially give you access to all my screenwriting secrets. Once again, friends, I can't thank you enough, and until next week, happy writing.